All right, everyone, this video and recipe comes from the Disney Princess Cookbook, and bonus, it's also in the Tiana's Cookbook. This is one of those duplicate recipes, and it is Tiana inspired in both of them, so it's straight from the princess herself / master chef Tiana. It's called Southern Spoon Bread. There's a picture of it right here that it has in the magazine, and this is a really interesting recipe. It looks like it's not quite cornbread. It's not quite a creamed or baked corn. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. So we're actually having a friend over today. We're going to be eating some chili, and I thought this would be a really good side dish to go with the chili because it's something in between cornbread and that cream corn, as I said. So anyway, let's get it made and see how it turns out. Okay, so here on my oven, I have my milk and water mixture heating up. And as soon as it gets close to temperature, where it's not quite ready to boil, but close, I'll add a couple other ingredients. While that was going up to side, I prepared a few of my other things. Like here, I have my egg whites that I just took from the eggs and I whipped them till they got really nice and stiff. And then over here, I have my egg yolk mixture, and it's the egg yolks with a couple other ingredients as well that I'll mix into that. My milk's about ready here, so I'm gonna add salt, butter. Together. Now, slowly add the cornmeal, whisk it until thickens. It says about 1 minute, so. All right, I think it's getting a nice thicker texture to it, so I'm gonna let it cool here for a little bit. Okay, so here I'm taking the egg yolk mixture and kind of blending it in with the cornmeal part. So now comes the part where I have to add the mixture to the egg whites, and then I need to fold it in together. Here I am folding it in together. Finally, now that it's all blended together, I'm going to pour it into the buttered casserole dish. And then you'll see I'll get ready and I'll throw it in the oven and let it bake for about 25 to 30 minutes. Unfortunately, as I'm putting together this video, I realized I could not find the clip I took of the dish when it came out of the oven. I am so sorry. I was having an issue with my old phone where sometimes videos are disappearing, or maybe I accidentally deleted it. Hard to say. Either way, this is just a picture of the finished product from the cookbook, and it did look like the cookbook. Other than I obviously used my own casserole pan, it basically looked like this when it came out of the oven. Right, time for final thoughts and reviews on the Southern Spoon Bread that's Tiana inspired from the Disney Princess Cookbook. Really enjoyed this. So like I said, I was making it for me and my husband and our friend Rob. For those who don't know, I have a podcast as well where we do wine for Pennsylvania. It's called Wine Time PA, so check us out please on YouTube as well. And we were having a planning session, and so our friend Rob brought chili, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna make like a cornbread thing, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna make this from the cookbook. And the Southern Spoon Bread was really good. As I predicted, it was somewhere between like a creamed corn or a baked corn kind of dish and cornbread. It was definitely a little bit harder than I anticipated. It wasn't quite super creamy. I was expecting it to be maybe a little more cream corn, but it was closer to cornbread. But it wasn't like as stiff as cornbread or kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it definitely didn't feel like a bread, but it wasn't like a pudding either, or anything like that. But it was really like quite lovely. Actually, we all really enjoyed it. So I think that was a really nice recipe, and overall kind of a hit, especially with the chili. So let's get into the rankings on that. So first ranking is the ingredients, where I rank the ingredients on a scale of 1 to 5 on how difficult or easy they are to find, or how expensive they are. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 1. It's really not hard. It's milk, it's cornmeal, a couple other things. None of these things are super hard to find, and they're not expensive to pick up. Difficulty level on a scale of 1 to 5. I actually think I'm gonna rate this, compared to the other recipes in this challenge, like a 2.5 to a 3. It's not hard, and I think I'm gonna lean more towards a 3, but you know, you have to put the milk on the pan and watch it. You have to make sure it boils. Then you have to whip the egg whites on their own, and then you have to whisk the egg yolks on their own, and kind of blend it all together, and you mix it all. So there's a lot more steps involved, I think, than just taking, like, especially if you like traditional cornbread and you buy those pre-made mixes, you just basically toss together and throw in the oven. This is better than those. I will say that, way better than those. But there's a lot more steps involved in it than you would typically find for something of this nature. So that's why I'm going to put it at a 3. I mean, even baked corn that I've made before, has a few more steps in it. And then when I make this again on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to give it a 3 as well. Liked it, enjoy it. This is just not something that I make often. You know what I mean? Cornbread is something I just kind of buy if I want it. I don't eat it too often. It's one of those things I get at restaurants that do it well already and get it there. But I could see myself making this again. Maybe, you know, chili, like I said, it was an excellent side dish for the chili that we had today, and maybe a few other things. So I can see myself making it again, but it's probably one of those things that, like, I might make it like once every few years or something like that, as opposed to once or twice a year kind of thing, or even more often. But that's my review on the Southern Spoon Cornbread.